All right, what's going on to all knife enthusiasts out there? I'm making a video about all the knives and cutlery stuff that I collected over 2025. By the way, if you hear a dog breathing really hard, it's that guy right there. This guy's being an absolute nut right now. He has all the energy in the world and all he wants to do is play. So if you hear him breathing, just bear with it. So, without further ado, let me just show off the first one that got me started of 2025. This is the Work Tough Gear Commander. This is absolutely the heaviest knife I have in my entire collection. Sadly, even though I still very much like it, it's actually not one of my more favorite knives to use for prolonged periods of time. And the reason is because of the handle. The handle totally copies the other designs that I'll be talking about later. Sadly, I just think that this handle is it's just too squared off for some reason. I even messaged the original designer of it and said, hey, maybe if you make a Gen 2, maybe you should round off the handle or maybe make it a little bit more ergonomic. Another thing is this corner right here is so sharp. It's such a razor sharp that I wasn't looking, and twice I have nicked my finger on that corner. And man, the second time that was a good cut. So I'm starting to really fall out of favor with finger choils, especially if they have an exposed corner like that, and something that just makes me more conscious of it. Otherwise, it's still just an absolute beast to chop with. It's still an absolute razor. Ignore those spots on the edge right there. That's just stains from the wood that I was chopping. It's not rust, but don't worry about it. Anyway, still an absolute beast of a knife. Well, then in late February, early March, what happened was, one, it was the end of my birthday, and then two, my work was adopting a new computer system that was going to make my already long days even longer. So I wanted to kind of treat myself, and also my wife wanted to get me one of these as well. This is the Work Tough Gear Elbrus Generation 2 or Gen 2. They already have a Gen 1 I'm not familiar with, but this is the Gen 2, a more upgraded version of it. For example, one of the upgrade things that they do, Work Tough Gear now has made most of their knives, and let me get that zoomed in what's called K329 steel. So instead of like a steel like SK85, they're now making that steel now, which apparently is better. So the Elbrus 2 is a very interesting design. First of all, it's a very attractive design. I know it sounds silly to say that, but it's very elegant looking. Number one, the handle is a 10 out of 10. The handle is by far one of the most comfortablest design handles that I've ever had on any one of my knives. The other thing is, because of the design of the blade, yes, it's a good sticker for sure. If you're going to stick bad guys or what have you, whatever you want to do, whatever you use the tip of the knife for. But ironically, you don't think of it as such, but it's a great chopper. It chops very, very well. Again, not sure how that could be. Maybe it's because of the design of the switch up here. But the thing is, where does the Elbrus 2 fall under? What type of category is this blade? Is it a wilderness blade? Yeah. Is it a tactical fighting knife? Well, yeah. Is it a survival knife? Well, yeah. But the thing is, I unfortunately think it doesn't do any particular role really well. For example, as an outdoor blade, this back spine thing, this is a false edge right here, but this will absolutely chew up your batoning stick if you use it for batoning. Otherwise, I think that this is just a great blade to do a lot of different roles, but won't do anything particularly good though. It's still a really good cutter, by the way. It's just an interesting design. So then in March, life took a very horribly dark turn. My stepdad passed away, and still getting over it. But the thing is, the day that it happened, I had to just I don't know why, I had to just distract myself with something. So I got the best knife that has ever been created. This is a hill that I will fight and die on. As a knife enthusiast, I am absolutely convinced that the Tex Creek XL made by Tops is the best knife ever made. Okay, I have a lot of other knives. I've said a lot of other statements like that. No, the Tops Creek, the Tex Creek XL by Tops is the best knife ever made. So I wanted to just get something to distract myself with. I already have one, and this is clearly a newer version of it. And give me a second. So this is the one that I've had forever. This is the one I really used. And the thing is, the first one, the handle is much thinner. It's noticeably thinner compared to the new one. The new one, look at how much thicker that handle is compared to the old one. Frankly, I have no complaints. I can kind of care less. What's really silly is I will probably never use this knife. I think it's just because I want to keep it the way it is. I want to keep it perfectly brand new. It will kind of always remind me of my stepdad, even though he wasn't a knife guy. But I think I want to keep this just the way it is, just kind of as a little bit of a trophy. And plus, I have my original Tex Creek to really thump on and just abuse the crap out of. And again, going with my stepdad, the thing is he was never a knife person, but the thing is he started off in the blue collar industry and the glazing industry, and then he worked his way up to the white collar industry as a project manager. Again, all for the glazing companies. And even though he was never a knife person, he had a lot of tools. He really appreciated good quality tools, and I learned the value of having nice tools. So anyway, I got this Spyderco all metal Delica, and this one's in VG10. Got this for him a long time ago, and I've already said he wasn't a knife person, but he actually used it, and he kept it in his car, he kept it in his desk, he kept it at home, and it always kind of traveled with him. Heck, he even took this golfing a couple of times. Well, anyway, when my mom and I are going through some of his stuff, and we uncovered this, and I was glad to find it. Here's something that actually made me smile. So let's see if I can get the camera to focus on that. I hope you can see that chip that he did. I don't know what that. Yeah, I don't know what the heck he was cutting, but this actually made me smile because it told me that he was actually using this. So I'm happy I have it in my collection. I've carried it a few times, but the thing is, this knife is so sentimental to me that there's no way I don't want to. I'd rather lose one of my own knives that I've bought with my own money than to lose this one. But anyway, one last thing. I've used this around the house a few times and people are going to go nuts. I actually have a more high appreciation for half serrated, half plain edge because I find myself really appreciating that type of combo for zip ties and other types of material. For some reason, the half and half combo of serration and plain edge, for some reason, it's a good combination. People rip on it, but whatever. I'm starting to like it now. Later in the year, then Work Tough Gear came out with the Wilderness Warrior Gen 2. I know that's a big mouthful. The Wilderness Warrior Gen 2. And this is probably one of my top 5 favorite knives in my entire collection. This is a excellent medium to large blade. Yes, it has that little finger char right there, but it's not as crazy as the Commander. Same type of steel as what the Work Tough Gear is made out of. As you can tell by the handle, this actually copies the Asset handle. It's the exact same size handle, except just a bigger blade. And this is actually one of the best cutters that I have. It has a big, broad, wide belly, and the thing is, it's not too thick. So as a result, this edge is just an absolute razor. And using it in the backyard, using it for what have you, again, the chopping capability of it, the tip aspect about it. The only downside is that tip's pretty thin, but the thing is, I'm pretty confident with it. And like I said, it's just an absolute great cutter. This is definitely one of those knives that if you had to leave the house and not come back, this will definitely be one of them. But anyway, glad to have in my collection. And as a recap, I never held the original Gen 1. The Gen 1 had a different type of handle, but the designer clearly wanted to change it up. And probably, again, one of my top 5 favorite knives that I have in my entire collection. One day I'll make a top 5 video. But this is the Work Tough Gear Asset Gen 2. I think it's kind of silly, Elbrus 2, Wilderness Warrior 2, and Asset 2. So the Asset, which, like I said, it's one of my favorites because given the type of knife that this makes an excellent field knife. This is a knife that I can really do just about anything with. I made a video a long time ago demonstrating how it makes more sense to have a good, smaller, stout, medium knife than it is to have a large knife. I rather have this with a saw. You can build a whole shelter with this type of setup. The difference, once again, is the steel. Give me a second. Here is my original Asset. And one thing that I do like that they did, this jipping is just too aggressive. Versus, maybe they're actually listening to my videos, who knows? But I hope they're listening to the customers because they rounded off the jipping here, which makes me a lot more likely to use it. And that's what I like. I do not like sharp jipping at all, and I'd rather have this. They knocked it out of the park with this. Now, the one downside, though, is every sheet that I've ever gotten from Work Tough Gear is a real solid design. However, the green one that I got with this one, even though they did a pancake style versus taco style, so good job on them, the downside, it was rattling, and I can't stand rattling. So I sent it out. I got a custom-made sheath from this and waited a long time for it, but I got it. And look at that. I think that's a cool type of snake scale, whatever you want to call it, hexagon, whatever. Anyway, like it. And then something else really sucked in July, and that was my grandpa died. So this is my mom's dad, and he passed away. So again, he was actually a huge gun guy, but he wasn't the biggest knife person. But the thing is, he definitely had some. He was kind of like kind of like my stepdad. He started off in the blue collar industry and then went to the white collar industry and became a manager for the quarrying industry in Oahu. So he did a lot over there. This was his trusty Leatherman that he had for many years. I remember seeing it when I was young, and you can tell it's an older model, but it's still extremely solid, very well made. Again, you cannot go wrong with the Leatherman. This is the Wave, older model of the Wave. The only thing that would make this perfect is if it had a pocket clip, but otherwise, yep. I have his Leatherman, and I took it into the range, and I actually used it to help zero in some optics. So, thank you. Even though I have plenty of Leathermans, at least I have his. The thing is, my grandma, she sent me a whole box of all of his like little pocket knives, and she said, you know what, keep the ones that you really want and give the other ones away. So these are the two that I really liked that I wanted to hang on to. This one is some kind of a anniversary gift that he got. The two dots represent 10, 20 years that he did, and he did more, but this was some kind of old anniversary gift that he got. Look at that. I think that's kind of a cool logo right there. It's an old excavating or old digging type of, I forgot what that type of machine is called. Excavation tractor, whatever. But yeah, some kind of Gerber knife. Not sure what kind of steel it is, whatever. But it has a solid lockup and it's brass, so therefore your hands will smell after you handle this. And at the moment, it just kind of stays in the desk somewhere. But yep. Then this one I was really happy to have. I remember this a long time ago. This is his Spyderco Endura, all serration Endura. One, this thing is light, and number two, given the age of it, you can tell how this is an older Spyderco design. Look how this has this like protruding thing going on here with the pin. Also, what's the steel? Come on, can I zoom in on it? Yeah, I have absolutely no idea what G2 stainless is. That's obviously a steel that's not being used anymore. And so, but I've used it a few times. Once again, I love how light it is. The thing is, the plastic pocket clip, as nice as it is, the problem is it's totally fixed to the handle itself. And also, it just slips. It slips really quick out of my pocket. So as a result, very much like my stepdad's Spyderco, I probably won't be carrying this one around because heck, I'd rather lose one of my own knives than to lose this one. But I've used it. It's good. I'm glad I have it. I'm glad I'm giving it a good home. So now we're going to go up here a little bit. What happened was in October. Actually, let me totally stop myself. I have to show this off. So a year ago, my grandpa actually sent this to me as a gift. This is his old Swiss Army knife that has every tool in the box. Now, I was born in the mid-'80s, and I was a kid all throughout the '90s. I can't be the only person who thought like this. When you were a kid in the 90s and you went to any store and you saw this Swiss Army knife and you thought, oh my gosh, I have to have it. Well, I finally got it. And ironically, ever since he gave it to me, for some odd reason, I find reasons to use it all around the house all the time. So again, I will never take this outside the house because I'm just so terribly paranoid about losing it. But yeah, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. So that was just a little side show off. Anyway, back to 2025. My wife really wanted one of those outdoor portable fire pits. And so right when I saw a good deal on it, at the same time, my mom she had a tree cutting business, remove some big trees in the backyard. And I told her, hey, save me the logs. So when I had these big, massive 2-foot diameter thick logs and stumps, I went to my local hardware store and I picked up a Fiskars 36-inch splitting axe. And this thing is just a force to be reckoned with, man. This thing is just a heck of a splitter. That's what it's designed for. This thing is not designed for chopping down trees. This axe is for splitting logs and big tree stumps. And it does it just with, we're talking about a knife through butter, man. You barely even have to, because of the edge geometry, you barely have to put very much energy into swinging that. A lot of times I was just using the weight just to kind of come down and it was splitting it. It's, just by itself. But if you want to split wood, there's no need to spend hundreds of dollars on a splitting axe. I really would say just get yourself a Fiskars. If I say that name right, get yourself one of these things, try it out. You will not be disappointed. I've gone away from liking wood handles. I'd rather have a synthetic handle, and I'd rather have a head like this that I don't really care about. Again, if this thing chips or breaks, well, first of all, I don't know what the heck you were doing to break this thing, but should this thing be ruined anyway, they're very inexpensive and just fun to use. So around not too long later, I realized, hey, do you know what? I want a little brother for this guy, and went to my same local hardware, got the Fiskars. What is this called? The X7. What's this called? Yeah, just the X7. Same exact thing. This really changed my mind on hatchets. I used to kind of look down upon hatchets and tomahawks. That's how I started using this. Same principle. It has a very wide, broad head, and yes, I've used the back of it as a hammer, but there's just something about the geometry. There's something about the edge. I don't care if they're cheap and mass produced. The thing is, I just want it to work, and I want it to work well. And that's exactly what this thing does. So Fiskars, they make great stuff. Check them out. For camp purposes, yeah, this is an absolutely fantastic little hatchet, and it just splits wood like no other. And then lastly, for Christmas, I was not expecting this whatsoever, but my wife, she got me a zero tolerance, and I don't have any ZT knives whatsoever. And so it was kind of cool to have this automatic flipper right here, or assisted flipper. This is the 350. Apparently, this has been in the zero tolerance lineup for quite some time. This is an older model that just keeps going. Customers still want it, so ZT keeps making it. And again, I do not have any assisted flippers like this. So the thing is, I don't know, it's just kind of cool to play with. This is definitely a knife that's not meant to look pretty. This is a knife that's designed to be used. And how funny, I only had it for 5 days, and I already scratched it trying to open up a freaking bottle of champagne for New Year's. So anyway, yeah, it's being used. This is now my new primary folding knife that I take with me everywhere. Again, and it's actually extremely comfortable. The handle is it's so much more comfortable than you think it is. This jipping is not sharp at all. It looks like it, but it's not. The jipping is very well designed, and yeah, just everything about the knife is just very comfortable. So thank you, babe. But as far as that, next year there's only maybe 1 or 2 knives that I actually want to get. Everything else I'm going to be pretty much putting on hold because I have other priorities. And trying to think of anything else. What always happens is every time I make a video, I tend to just forget things. So I will post more information in the description down below to anyone that has actually watched this. Thank you for watching. Ready to go outside? You ready to go outside? Let's go outside. Let's go outside.